If you have a vehicle with a knocked engine, you don't look for a driver. You look for a new engine or a serviceable engine. You're not likely to even look for a competent mechanic, because if it is a really knocked engine, there's nothing you can do about it. You have to find another engine. Now, a driver is the equivalent of the president of the country. It's not a change in the person of Tinubu today or whoever that's going to make the difference. This book limits anything they want to do. I like the way one of the versions of my Bible, I think it's the New Living Translation. It says it's if the bottom drops out of the pot, what can the righteous man do? That's Psalm 11 verse 3. King James says, if the foundation be destroyed. This document, well, I thought I said it the other day, I have stopped calling it a constitution, keep calling it the decree that it is. And Abdul Salami says it all here. It says, whenever it may hereafter be necessary for the Constitution to be printed, it shall be lawful for the federal government printer to meet all parts of this decree, apart from the schedule, and the Constitution as so printed shall have the force of law, notwithstanding the omission. So it is a decree. It is us calling it constitution. A constitution is made by the people, the indigenous people who will be ruled by it. It is not. It has to come down. We need to produce one that is written by us. This was a military decree. Why can't the National Assembly amend it? It cannot be amended. There's one thing you cannot amend there. It says we. There was no we. Where did we meet to so decide? I mean, you can go and amend here and there, but what do you do with we? We, us, and our. There's nothing you can do to these words that will help you to be able to say you amend it. So we have to write one. And when it says we, that's an admission that it is us, the owners of the land, who can write a constitution for ourselves. That's an admission. But we did not sit anywhere to so agree. We need one where we all agree. All right.
You just said the Constitution cannot be amended. What do I say the Senate is all about? I guess that's what they were supposed to, that's supposed to be part of their responsibility, to be able to amend or, as it were, pass into law bills that are being promulgated from time to time. And you seem so affirmative. Are they, the Senate not being able to do something or replace this constitution?
Well, we can replace it. I mean, I think the same. Listen, the way I see things going, we can either use force to handle the situation of our land or use a peaceful means of negotiation. If we want to use force, that will be very costly. It will be, blood will flow. And I don't know why anybody would want to use force of law rather than peaceful negotiation. Negotiation, all right, let's renegotiate the union because it had failed. It had failed. The body I mentioned the other time, constitutional force majeure of NINAS of 2020 has actually produced a document to suspend this. There's a dispute now about the union. That's why you have IPOB saying it wants to be Biafra, and today you have the Yoruba nation agitating. The Middle Belt are saying that nobody should just classify them as the North. Even I've seen a couple of things where the Hausa people are saying Fulani should leave their land. Under that kind of situation, we are pretending that there is nothing wrong. But we will get to a point where it will explode. Can we avoid it? I know we can. How? By deciding that this is not working, we will have to jettison it. Put in place a transition government. All right? It's during that all these things that we need to do, like renegotiating, reconfiguration, referendum, will take place. And then we'll come up with what we want to have. So this is a problem. I mean, I can't remember her name now. She came and described this as a pressure cooker ready to explode. We shouldn't let it. I think we should be wiser than allowing something that can be peacefully settled to go through the process of war. And, well, some of those who took part in that civil war that we had, 67 to 70, are saying we cannot afford another civil war. So, if sufficient number of people know and agree that this is the problem, that we can demand that we need a new one. How? By making sure that the original owners of the land, the indigenous owners of the land, come together. I think the people should be entitled to select who will represent them, not government handpicking. For instance, the 2014 confab of Jonathan, the 3 representatives from Kwara were all Muslims. Well, the Christian population in Kwara State is clearly not reflected. It's not reflected. So we have a task, and we should face it. Like I told you before, I don't want my generation to throw it to the coming generation. We should be able to find a solution to it. Why should they go through the kind of horrors you are going through now? There's no reason. It's not fair. Again, my Bible says in Proverbs chapter 24, verse 11 and 12, it says, if you see someone who is being led to death and you pretend that you don't see it, God is looking at you. I will keep saying what I'm saying now for as long as I have breath. This is a problem. But I mentioned that Chief Affair Babalola had said that it's a problem of the country. If it goes off, the Fulani will know their limit.
Okay, talking about that, you also mentioned that the Senate cannot altogether amend it as it were because it wasn't a true reflection of the us or the we as we call
Yes,
it.
yes.
So, is there a way for the court? And then I'm also puzzled by the fact that the people you have mentioned who have called this document names, as quoted, the last is Feva Palola that you just mentioned, are all learned people.
Yes.
It's believed that they know what to do or they know what they are talking about. How come it seems to be still be falling on deaf ears and no serious action has been taken
By them
or even those who should be able to take action on this?
I cannot presume to know. They have said it. Remember, on one occasion, Chief Wale Olanikwekon pointing out that they cannot be amended because he asked, "How do you?" Well, the preamble is the thing that has it's like memorandum of understanding. All right, that's what states what the company is about. That's what preamble in the Constitution is. Who are the we? And since there was no we, how can you? What are you going to use to replace it? Because there was no we. And I wish that the lawyers will come together and see what they can do to salvage this country, because the way it is going now, it can be disastrous if nothing is done to bring about a peaceful solution to the matter. I wish that the lawyers and the judges will come together, give us a solution. South Africa had to write a constitution in 1990. Is it possible for us to learn something from their own experience? The regular government was going on, but they set up a committee for the purpose of producing a constitution. The moment they produced that constitution, its work was done. It was promulgated and became the document on which their government is run. Anybody who comes in on the basis of this will swear that he will uphold it. What we will need a very audacious person to come, be sworn in on it, and almost immediately decide it must go. Human beings are not like that. Anybody who finds himself in the position of power hardly wants to lose it. So that's where we are. But I thought I read something about Chief Obafemi Awolowo. He said, when the time comes, the people will not wait for any leaders. But can we avoid it? No. Is there any way by which we can avoid going to war? That's the question. But if we vote 10 times on the basis of this, we can only get worse and worse and worse. And this is probably the best time to do something because, well, if Tinubu gets a second term, that will just be only another 4 years. If we allow the rotation, it will go back to the north. If you have another Buhari, Buhari did everything he could to totally Fulanize this land. I'm using the word Fulanize deliberately. Islamization agenda is a decoy. It's the Fulanis who want to take possession of our land, walking through Islam. This is a Fulanization agenda, a conquest agenda. We must stop it, or all of us will be engulfed. We must stop it. And well, you've heard me say it now. Say it to somebody else that this is the problem and it has to come down. Let that somebody say to somebody else, let that information go around, that the day this comes down, we'll find a solution to the problem of the land.
That constitution is the title deed. The day it comes down and we have a constitution drawn by us, that's when we'll be free. So it is like a company. Him, me, he decide to form a company. We have what is called Memorandum of Understanding.
Yes, sir. MOU.
Memorandum of Understanding in our own case here is called Preamble. It says, we, the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, agree.
And there was never a time.
No, where did we sit to agree?
Well, isn't it? Do we have people with sufficient audacity to say, this is the problem, I'm going to deal with it? You have to have someone who's sufficiently audacious to do that. I haven't seen any of them who can be expected to say, no, this is our problem and we must face it. Well, the power brokers, very many people come in by reason of some people who, the money bags, who can finance their campaign. And if you rely on people, you don't want to step on their toes, so they don't cut their supply or the support they give you. But we need someone who can, he comes in and sees it, no, this is the problem, I must do something. And a person who is ready to, even if it is just one term, but that's my assignment, I want a constitution, the way a constitution is done. But we don't have that kind of, the caliber that would take that onslaught.
All right, reading the preamble, you mentioned that it said in one place the decree, and in another there's a constitution. But I'm particularly interested in the part where you talked about if it were to be printed by a government publisher.
No, it wasn't me. It's what Abdul Salami said. Because it was actually not printed in the government press. Well, information that I have received was that it was printed at, what was it now? Heritage Press in Abuja.
Heritage belonging to IVD.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, they have to create job for the boys. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Because the claim was that government press was not working at that time. Government press was not working. Somebody couldn't put it right? I don't know.
So, in another way, if I were to ask for sake of emphasis, looking at all these junctions of problems, where do we go really from here?
What?
Looking at all these junctions of problems
Yes.
has been related to this document and all, where do we go? How can Nigeria really come out of this? For by sake of emphasis, we really need you to touch and point us.
Well, if everybody comes to know that this is the problem, if you have a problem, how do we take it out? How do you solve your problem? And I have said something about it. In 1954, with Governor General Literature, Azikwe, Sedona, and Awolo was sat to negotiate what became the federal government. We need another group like that. And of course, that group has to be the different nationalities in the union coming together and saying, this is what is best for our land. And I have given what Nenas is doing. You have said it. Nenas is saying, let's pull it down and then have a transition, renegotiate, reconfigure, carry out a referendum, and then get a new constitution written. That can go side by side. Or we can take a leaf from South Africa. How did they do their own? But the constitution must take into account, or any constitution must take into account the need to bring people who are of the same cultural values, same linguistic affinity together. We cannot be unequally yoked. I mean, if I take the North Central as an example, we have the Yoruba of Kwara, the Yoruba of Kogi, the Igala, the Idomas, and the Tifi, Benue, we have the Birom, and the rest of them and then in Niger here, we have the Nupe people, also a part of Nasarawa. People who have the same linguistic affinity and also cultural affinity should constitute a block. I cannot, you see, if you don't do that, we will constantly have a problem. And this is why we're saying, get back to the owners of the country, let them produce a document they know will help them.
That's okay. On that note, I'd like to ask, this document has been in operation since 1999.
Yes.
And we have had, let me say, a representation at the apex level. Are they also incapacitated to have seen? And if those who came in through the vehicle of this, as you mentioned, that okay, they came in by this system, they may not want to hurt it. What about Christians who are not in power but are prominent, maybe around the corridors of power or influence in one way or the other, the nation? How come it seems as though the Christian body has not been able to see this aspect of the document?
Well, I don't know why the church, because there are very competent lawyers, first-class lawyers in most of the churches, but maybe they never consider that area at all. Maybe it doesn't occur to them as there's any need to do something about it. The political class enjoy what is going on. Okay, now, if a governor finishes his 8 years, he is placed on pension. According to information, he is entitled to one house in Abuja and another house somewhere else in the country, wherever else he wants in the country. And well, I have not been able to cross-check there, but that he's also entitled to 4 brand new vehicles. He can retain all the workers, the house workers with him, even in his retirement. And of course, you know that the moment he finish with being governor, the next thing is to aspire to get to Senate in particular. You think people who are enjoying that will want to see a change? I don't think they will want to see a change, because they want to continue to be the ones, especially, and we've seen traces of it, their children also being groomed to become governors. So it suits them. They make their money through that. If you're making your money through that, you're not likely to want to change it. Because what we are saying is they should bring about a situation that improves the lot of the common man on the street. They hold a class and they want to be in that class. It is the rest of us who must know, no, this is not how things ought to be. When God gave the wealth, it was His intention that every person who is a national should have their own share. It didn't intend that it should be in the hand of just a few. But I'm saying those who are there in power now enjoy what this provides. Well, okay, I mean, this one, for instance, provides immunity. The kind of things happening in Nigeria, can they happen in China? They can't, they won't. It won't happen. It won't happen. I mean, and you know, even where some people, and of course, most of the time, the ones in the north are the ones who kind of disgrace one time or the other, maybe they go to prison or so. How many in the north have you ever had been sent to prison? How many? Impeachment, it won't happen there because they're satisfied. It is us down here who agitate and know that things should be evenly distributed. Those who are there in the north, particularly the Fulani oligarchy, who can use the Manjaris as their foot soldiers, do you think they want to have them educated? And if we have a new constitution that makes it compulsory for everybody to send their children to school, they will have the Manjaris who are doing silly things for them. So we really have a problem. We really have a problem. Well, as it is, I was, Tinubu passe, it's not our problem. The governor of my state is not our problem. They are working inside a system that makes it possible for them to do what they're doing, whether right or wrong, depending on your judgment. But it is not them. It is the system. You see, if you have a good system, it will have a means of regulating what is inside it. If you have a bad system, even if you have an angel to come around it, it would take a miracle to get it done. The system is bad. And the people who are running it are running according to what the book says to do. At the dome, I mentioned what is called security vote. I checked, I Googled, and I discovered that there are governors who earn more than 1 billion per month for security. Let that money be used. I remember that in one of Mr. Obi's talks, he told us how when the issue of security vote came out, how he used it. Find out how many schools there are, upgrade the level of the schools, secondary schools. What about hospitals? Why is it that our governors cannot do that kind of thing? So, I mean, if a governor is earning $1 billion per month and he spends 8 years, how much is that? 96 billion. Just him alone. And of course, all other things, he's having them free. When during his 8-year period, I'm very clear. The Bible gives us the example of Nehemiah, who told the people he didn't earn what was the due of a governor, like the ones before him. Instead of that, it was the one feeding 150 people. So, do we have any Nehemiah today? They're just amassing the wealth, and I don't know where they're going with it. I don't know where they're going with it.
That will beg another question. Before I ask that question, let me talk about. We recently had the death of one of our former presidents, whose name I withheld intentionally. Don't you think these people who are enjoying this power, who are hoarding this money, not developing both the states or even the people for whom they have been called to govern, don't they see that we all will one day or someday end in death? And at that point, power will not matter, wealth will not matter, only legacy.
Well, I think they say, okay, that the day come, but at least I will enjoy myself until that time. It's incredible that they just keep amassing that wealth, not trying to develop other people. I don't know why that is so. I wish that they are sufficiently concerned about the plight of the people they govern. I wish that was true. One of the ways that I think they can do it, okay, make education free for everybody, every child, and make it compulsory that they must be in school. That's one way. Or the roads leading to all the towns and villages, make sure that these roads are well maintained. Even electricity. We've been running on solar. All right? We have sunlight virtually all year round. Why can't we develop it in that area? Why can't one governor decide, oh, no, definitely, I'm going to install solar everywhere in the state? Definitely, if he wants to do it, he has more than enough resources to do it. I don't know if anybody exactly knows how much each governor earns per month, apart from this security board that we know. Okay?
All right. So somebody
and that's why many of them will build bogus houses. Well, and when they die, the houses are not built in the way that they can be sold and refashioned by any buyer. Well, we have an example here. That money, why don't you put it into developing people? Won't they remember you? You just go and build a house. You have a house in Abuja and a house somewhere else, built at the expense of the state. We had a case here where a house was built for the governor, and then we were told we need to have confirmation. We were told that at one point he said it should be monetized. I don't know.
Okay, let me ask this question, because somebody watching this program might be asking, especially those who want to criticize, maybe one of those who benefits from this current system we're currently riding on, and as you said, which is just like a time bomb waiting to explode. one will ask, why now? Why didn't you start this fight earlier on, or why didn't you push for all this that you're saying now? Why did you choose now to begin?
Well, how close is one to any of them? I don't. I'm not seeking anything from anybody, so I just stay in my little corner. They feel that I have the capacity to do anything to help, I do. Am I going to go and knock at the door of a governor? Or like I mentioned to some people, I've had the opportunity of being one of the teachers of one or two of such governors before. But when they were in position of power, did they remember their teacher? I just wonder. But I'm not complaining because I'm kind of, I want to thank God because I'm satisfied. But if they get close to us, we will give them counsel. This is how to do it. This is how to do it. This is how to do it. This is what the people are saying. And interestingly enough, during the military era, we had a governor here. Well, I remember his name. He listened to a friend. His friend will tell him, this is the way people are feeling, and this is what they are saying. I think they need to have people who will tell them, this is how people are feeling, this is what they are saying. Maybe if they did, they might govern differently. But if they felt that they were too big, too high, well, the likes of me would not run after anybody. Late Chief Seo Adebayo, who were close. I remember when he was in Government House, he gave me the opportunity, just those 3 months, he gave me the opportunity. I could just get there and say, I want to see the governor. And I would go and see. You have to sign. Let them get close to those they are governing. They might do better than they are doing now. Because there will be those who are honest enough. Oh, Kazir was the governor I was trying to remember. Jauji Kazir. And he gave me his telephone number and said, any day I had something to say to him, I should call before 8:30. And each time I called, he picked my call. It should be like that. When I was a student in UK, I think it was Harold Wilson won an election, and I wrote a congratulatory message to him. He replied personally. I think they need counselors who have a little bit of more knowledge of this of relationship on this earth. They might profit by counsel.
So before we leave the shores of the church, do you think it's something the church can do better to have a good say or a mouthpiece? Because it seems so far that the church has not, as a church,
The church?
yes, done much or better in this.
Well, I wish that the church took time to learn something about governance and teach their people. Because politics by definition is a system by which you organize people together and for peaceful coexistence. If people also include Christians, I think they should be part of it. How many Christians are part of? It's a dirty, politics is a dirty game. Well, so dirty people will be playing it and smearing you with their dirt. Can't you get in and be clean? Joseph was a ruler, wasn't he? I mentioned him, he was a ruler, wasn't he? Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were part of the ruling system one day. Even Cornelius in the New Testament. All right, Gaius, mentioned by John. All right. So I think we should rethink. For instance, there's nothing wrong with each church having something that looks like governance. Yes, I know that many of them talk about leadership, but we're talking about a specific leadership in a specific place in the seat of government. So that the governor will go there and they say, surely, we've never seen one like this before. And it could be so if they have a mind to. And I also think that the few of them who go into politics, the church should not wait on just criticizing and criticizing and criticizing them. The church should get close if they allow themselves to be close with the people. Get close to them, pray with them consistently. When they see something going wrong, they should be able to point out, sir, we don't know if you are aware that this is going on. What can you do about it? For instance, just before you came, a daughter of mine called from Port Harcourt and said that one battle we fought and won in 2017 has raised its head again, namely that Christian religious knowledge in schools and Islamic religious knowledge have been lumped together in what was called religion and national values or something like that. There's something wrong with that, because we criticized it in 2017 and we got it off. Somebody has raised it again. That shouldn't be. Christians should look at it very closely. And talking about that, well, I believe that it is best to remain secular. But if a particular religion is going to be favored, then if you're going to give them Sharia court, give us ecclesiastical courts also. I think it's just fair. Christians should fight for it. But they're not. I know a bill has been sent to the House. I think it was it defeated at the first reading. I mean, I don't believe that we should copy ignorantly, but if it is something that someone is using, and we have something equivalent, then our own should also come up. But I don't know who the church is listening to. I don't know. particularly concerning governance. We should know better than we do. Bible says we are the salt of the earth, or the light of the world. Are we that in this country? Very many churches. Does that bring improvement in our conduct? Do we have people of integrity? It's a problem. I wish that the church will have thorough understanding of what politics is about. What role can they play? I had an occasion in Kwara State here. The body of Christ in Kwara State didn't feel happy about appointments, and the governor explained that he was the appointment he was making was at in Kwara Central. Kwara Central, sir. The governor will have to go out of his way to appoint any Christian to anything. He will have to completely go out of his way. And that is not the way politics is played. It is the people who were with you in the party who will get the positions. Well, I was misunderstood, and then I said, let me come and ask you, how many of you are members of the ward, of the wards in which you are members of the
Political party.
I said, majority of you who are here will run home to the south when it is time to register or when it is time to vote. You are not part of the ones here. If you are not part of the ones here, how can you expect the governor to come and take a commissioner out of because he's a Christian? That's not how politics is played. It has to be people who work for it. I don't know any ward in which you can say, oh, this is a sizable Christian population. I don't know any. Do we attend their meetings? Even those who go into the National Assembly are picked at the ward level. If you are not there, well, there are some of us who I don't think should, well, I mean, if I just decided now I want to go and be a member of a particular party, they will laugh because this old man. But there are young people who want to be. Why don't we give them the enabling? Teach them what it is all about. Give them Christian principles they will follow. But I don't think the church is concerned about that. Some of the things we've been discussing about this document now, how many of the churches know? How many of them have read anything from it? Like I said, I'm not a lawyer, but something that is being used to govern me, I think I have a right to know something. That's why 2 copies. Just in case somebody borrows one, I'll still have one. I think we need to know. And thank God that we can build very many churches, build the biggest auditorium. But I pray that what befell the 7 churches in Revelation 2 and 3. Those 7 churches, I'm told, are all in the country called Turkey today. Turkey used to be 99% Christian. Today it's about 99% Muslim. Do we want to wait to have that kind of thing happen to us? Well, we keep praying. God will help us. But you see, it is one thing for you to pray, it's another thing for you to have faith, it's another thing to act on your faith. We pray, but do we act? Even that prayer, do we know why we are praying? Do we know what we are praying for? Do you know how seriously to pray for it? Do we know when to pray for it? Do we know where? All right? When Jesus says, watch and pray, why didn't he say pray and watch? It's because you need to watch to know. You need to watch to know why. Okay. Why do we need a change in government? Because we want better conditions. All right? That's the reason why do we want to vote for Peter Obi? Because we believe that when he comes, he will give us something better than we are having today. We need to know, so we know how to pray towards that for him. Why should Tinubu continue? Because we know the way he's going to get somewhere. We need to know why we are praying and how seriously should we pray about it. How sincerely, how wholeheartedly. He says we will find him if we seek him diligently. Are we seeking him diligently concerning the political climate of our land? Are we particularly concerned about the members of our congregations and how governing is handling their case? Well, but maybe the way I feel is that if I have a big church, probably I would be thinking differently. But I think the churches need to know and try to learn to know. If you don't know, there will be people who know. Call them, come and educate us. I want a situation where, for instance, Khan is meeting on one occasion and he would invite a parliamentarian to come and address them on politics and governance. PFN should be able to call people, talk to us about this country, what's going on. There should be a session. In fact, you see, looking back now, we had the Scripture Union, and then NIFES. In the north, we have FCS. The Muslims began their own little groups many years after we had started. But in their own case, they included governance. In our own case, it's only spiritual. There's nothing wrong with it. But for as long as you are here, you are going to be governed by the circumstances around. So you need to know something about what is governing you. Until today, how many Christian conventions have you ever had? Oh, okay, they are discussing governance there today. How many? We're continuing the same thing as the 1960s, 1970s. We need to have political education. The church ought to know. Because there would be quite a number among them who are leading in that direction. How are you going to handle it if you don't know?